So, what is your why for financial freedom? It's really important when we look at investing. What's the reason we do all this? Why are we trying to become financially free? What is the purpose behind it all? And so, today we're going to talk about really what the reason, the why is we're looking to create financial freedom. So, I'm here today with Michael Blanc, the one and only. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Bronson, how's it going?
Good, good. So let's talk about this. Michael, what's kind of the reason kind of behind the why? Like, why is that so important when people are evaluating financial freedom and what their why should be?
Yeah, I mean the why is super important. Now the actual why is going to be it's going to vary widely by the individual, but the why itself is very important. And I'm just it really it's at the root of why some people are successful and some are not. If someone has a very weak why, for example, if it's only about money, it's a very weak reason to do anything. That person is not likely to succeed because it's a very weak why. On the other hand, if the why is as big as a mission, such as I'll make it up, solving world hunger or something like that. If that mission is about something bigger than you are, it's a very powerful driver because you have less room for failure. Because if you fail, the entire mission fails, right? So, if, for example, I'll make it up again, if you're trying to take care of ailing parents, right? And if you fail at your mission of financial freedom, you're letting down your parents. Same thing with your family. Or let's say you really have a mission, a nonprofit vision, for example, you're letting down that mission. So being very clear about your why and making that why as meaningful as possible it makes all the difference. And what's exciting about that is you need a strong why, whether you're an active investor, a syndicator, or whether you're a passive investor. And the good news about it is, even as a passive investor, you can become financially free, but it requires a little bit of effort on your part. You can't just call your financial advisor and say, here, manage my money. No, you have to do a little bit of work, not a lot of work, but a little bit more work than call up your financial advisor and sending a bunch of money. You have to educate yourself a little bit, expand your comfort zone, and have an open mind, right? So you still have to have a why of what you want. And when you have that why, it really, really propels you into action.
Yeah. So some examples I wanted to share of just some whys some people have found and why that's important is my background is in sales, and some of the people I worked with is like their vision of freedom is just mai tais and yachts and these kind of things, and it's like you can do that for a little bit, you can travel, you can play, but really having that why is so important. So one example is one of my mentors, Christina, and her whole thing with real estate was she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and basically now she works from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. She's completely financially free. She can drop off and pick up her daughter, and that's her why. And literally everything she does with real estate and with financial freedom comes back to her. She's very, very, very successful. For me, I've had the revelation more recently, just really getting into helping other people achieve financial freedom, and just how life-giving that can be. And then also having a daughter, and my sister actually has an organization that helps people with human trafficking. They've raised about $8 million in the last 6 years. But this is an issue that there are actually more people in modern day slavery today than have ever been in the history of the world, which is kind of shocking. Somewhere between 20 and 40 million people. And to me, that's really something worth living and dying for. And being financially free really helps me to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's a great, worthwhile mission. And you and I share that mission of helping people become financially free because, my journey was so convoluted, took such a long time, and I lost so much money in the process. Versus people can quit their job literally in 1, maybe 2 years with multifamily. It's very, very powerful, and that kind of gets me up every morning. And what is interesting, as I interviewed some of these, more prominent guests last year on the podcast, Robert Helms, real estate guys, Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, right? Even the Grant Cardone, who you'd figure is like all he wants is money and his Rolls Royce and his jet. We actually dug down into him a little bit, and he's a mission-based guy. Yes, he's money-oriented, but there's more behind it. And for example, even when I was interviewing him, he has a mission behind him. He's not exactly sure what it is yet, Bronson. All he knows is that it's going to require a lot of money, and he's still working on what that will do. But he wants to do something big. He wants to be like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. So even someone as materialistic as someone like a Grant Cardone is actually truly mission based. And if you look at a lot of successful people, it all really boils down to a mission. It's not like, oh, I'm going to make another 100 grand. Who cares, right? If I'm a millionaire, what's another $100,000 gonna do, right? So it's really not so much about the money. It's really about something greater. And a lot of successful people, I would say almost every successful person, it's more around a mission, which goes about down to that why. So everyone really needs to develop a very strong why. I think it's of the utmost importance.
Absolutely. There's an old saying that says, "Without vision, people perish." And I think that if we're just existing, we're just here, and there's no vision, there's no purpose, there's really nothing really to look forward to. So part of the reason we're bringing this up on this video is as you look at your own financial journey and your own goals as far as passive investing, you really have to start with why. There's actually a great book by Simon Sinek called Start with Why. Basically, you start with the end in mind. Like, what is the whole point? What is it you're trying to achieve? For me, I want to be a great dad. I want to volunteer more. I want to travel more. I want to live out my passions. I want to do these things. And really being free financially, it really gives you freedom of time. And I think that's why I love passive investing, because it really, more than anything else, you don't have to be busier to have more cash flow coming in, which is just amazing. If you really kind of, get to believe it, it's pretty incredible. So, Michael, do you have any other maybe valuable whys people, that you know about?
Yeah, I think just the idea of becoming financially free through passive investing is amazing to me. You don't actually have to be an active syndicator to become financially free. You can actually do it simply by investing your money. If you're in that position, there's a lot of people who have money away that's in 401ks, that's in the stock market. There's high income earners, and their problem really is a consistent, predictable return, cash flow, and they pay too many taxes, right? So if that describes you, this is really, really exciting. And like I said, I think that why is important because you do have to open your mind. It requires some effort. And I think anything that requires effort, you need a motivator behind that, right? And what motivates you more than a strong why? This is why, even as a passive investor, having a why behind it, involving your spouse and a family and involving them, say, hey, just for the family, I want us to be out of whatever we're doing, out of my dental practice, out of my law practice, whatever the case may be. In 5 years, here's a planning I'm putting in place, and getting your family on board with that, which will change the life of you and your family, is super powerful, right? So if you can wrap a why around that, it's amazing, and I think it's absolutely critical.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and honestly, we've done a lot of these videos, Michael. This has probably been my favorite video that we've done as far as passive investing, because really, it really, at the end of the day, cash flow is great and the other things are great, but really, if you don't have a why in place as to why you're doing all this or why you're here on this earth, this is what gives the purpose to everything. So I just want, for the person watching, just that think about your own life and think about, what would it look like if you were financially free? What would that make possible for you? And again, before you start necessarily investing, or as you start investing, just really start thinking about some of those greater things, like you said, involving your family, Michael, really involving really what your values are, and really spending time with that. I think is so, so important. And I think what you've shared this as well is that a lot of people, when they become financially free, it really comes down to legacy. And that's kind of what you shared, is what sort of legacy are you going to leave to your family? Are you going to leave to the world? Because at the end of the day, money's just money. You can't take anything with you anyway, right? So you're going to die one day. So with that morbid note, just wanted to share, we do have a couple resources that we wanted to tell you about. We have this report that Michael put together. It's at themichaelblanc.com/report. And again, it talks about comparing the stock market and traditional investing to multifamily syndication. Very compelling when it comes to lower volatility and much higher returns with multifamily. So check that out. If you're on board and you're like, yeah, I want to invest, I want to hear more about deals you guys are doing, go to go to nighthawkequity.com and click the join button. And basically you'll be able to schedule a call with me, and we'll be able to talk through what it would look like to work together and be able to get you on the road to financial freedom. So thanks so much for investing in yourself. Love to hear some feedback on this conversation. You can email me, Bronson at nighthawkequity.com. Love to hear what some of your goals are as far as financial freedom. And we'll look forward to see you on the next video.